How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Music Fridays with myself and Dream Show Events. My name is Noah Rattan. I'm an up-and-coming producer out of Ottawa. On this show, we kind of just hang out, talk about music, make beats. We do all kinds of sorts of things out here. So it's kind of late in the night and I've started to edit the video, and I realized that a bunch of footage that I recorded got deleted, but there is some stuff that I can salvage. So I'm going to go in and re-record some things. We're in episode 3. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who's here, who's been watching, who has watched before, and has this is going to be a pretty cool episode. In some Kanye news, last week I mentioned that he was releasing a new album called Donda 2. It released yesterday on February 22nd, 2022 as the sequel to his first album that he released a couple months ago called Donda. Kanye kicked off the release of his album with a live performance, which is what he did for the release of Donda. Basically, it's just a really big listening party where he does some theatrics in the middle. Also, last week I failed to mention that the only way you could watch the performance or listen to Kanye's new album is if you purchase a piece of Kanye's new tech called the Stem Player. Basically, the Stem Player is a gadget that essentially lets you create and customize songs, which basically means it's like an iPod Touch mixed together with a drum machine. That's definitely the simplest way to put it, but it does a lot more. It can chop vocals, it can isolate parts in a song, it can edit parts. It seems like it's pretty cool. Over the last week, unfortunately, we've had some pioneers and industry legends pass away. Screaming Trees singer and grunge pioneer Mark Lanegan passed away at 57. Mark released 11 albums and collaborated with names such as Kurt Cobain. Over in the UK, we lost a pioneer named Jamal Edwards. Jamal founded the media company SBTV, which gave a lot of starts to a lot of big names over in the UK. This is some pretty sad news, and thoughts and prayers go out to both of their families and friends. Now we're in the part of the show where I tell you some songs that I've been bumping to lately, or have kind of just been stuck in my mind that I want to show you. I want to reiterate that I want you guys to comment down below any songs that you want me to listen to or to showcase. I would absolutely love to do that. And if I see yours, I'm most likely gonna throw it on the show. Then everyone's gonna listen to it, fall in love with it, and you'll be the first one to love it. So the first song is a request. It wasn't anything specific, basically just anything Shaggy. Now, I don't know a lot of Shaggy, so I kind of went through and I looked at a lot of the top songs by Shaggy. The song that I loved the most and that I am picking to showcase on the show is called Angel. Obviously, the chorus is crazy recognizable. Ray Vaughn does a great job on this song. Check this one out. Before I get into the second one, I just want to let you guys know that I'm going to keep this segment short just because since I'm recording this in the future, I've already done the interview and I know that it's pretty long. So I'm going to sacrifice a little bit of this time to give that a little bit more light. So let's get into the second song. The reason I want to show you guys this song is because yesterday I was pretty down a little bit earlier in the day, and I was in the kitchen making some food, and my roommate was also in there doing the same. He started playing Beat It by Michael Jackson. Now, I don't know why, but this song just got me up on my feet and just straight dancing. I mean, dancing my absolute heart out. I was out of breath by the end of it. And you know how it is here. We always try to stay positive, so any kind of way I can get you guys to be positive and upbeat, I want to. So reminisce in those synthy bells and the awesome drums and give Beat It a listen. So last but never least, the final song on today's list is Adult Education by Holland Oates. Now the reason I want to show you guys this song is because I work a pretty labor-intensive job, and earlier this week I was doing my thing and this song came on and just gave me a lot of energy. especially since I hadn't heard it for a long time, it really boosted my mood. And just like the last song, whatever I can do to boost your guys' mood, I want to do it. So now we've hit the part in the show where I tell you guys a quote and we kind of take it in, learn a little bit about life, and kind of grow from it. I found a really, really cool quote, and unfortunately, I lost it when I lost all the footage for this week. So I'm kind of going off the top. But last night, I was watching the Kanye documentary. So basically, you can hear a clip of Kanye in an interview, and this lady asks him, if one year I told you that you'd be winning 10 Grammys tonight, would you believe it? And Kanye says, no, what would happen is I would actually tell other people and they wouldn't believe it. So take that in however you want to. You gotta believe in yourself. You know, even when things get hard, even when you don't know what the future is gonna hold, you have to believe it. You have to show other people that there's something there for them to believe in as well. Alright guys, that kind of concludes everything that I have for this week. I'm sorry this video is kind of all over the place. I know there's like two me's in the same video at two different times. Either way guys, I really appreciate everyone being here. Like, comment, subscribe, anything upon those lines just lets me know that you guys are digging what I'm putting out, and your support means everything. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for being here. Stay positive this week, no matter what you're going through. Stay up, stay tuned for the interview, and I will see you guys next week. Welcome everybody. We are here for the interview that I talked about in the video. Thank you for sticking around and joining us. Here today we have my good friend Jack Sullivan. Jack, say what's up.
Thanks for having me, man. It's good to be here.
Yeah, dude, no worries. It's a pleasure to have you. This is our first interview. This is also the first time I'm being seen in a t-shirt right now, so it's kind of nerve-wracking for me in that kind of sense. But man, how have you been?
I've been good, man. I've been good. I've been you know, on my grind, I guess, in some ways. A couple
Uh,
different ways. It's
yeah.
been a minute since I've seen you, Haven't
Yeah, I
seen you
know.
since like I don't think since school,
Since the
which is like
summer. Yeah, I know. We've been
that's
we've
like
been
5 or
lacking.
6 months.
Yeah, it hasn't been good, man. And you know what's even worse is I think you're just around the corner. So
I
we've been
know.
slacking some on something there.
I mean, I guess it just speaks to, we're both grinding, we're both in our own lane, just doing
Yeah,
things.
exactly. Exactly. That's definitely what's up. Well, look, man, I got some questions for you today if you're good to answer them. I've got
Absolutely.
some stuff I want to talk to you about.
Always down.
So let's start it off with the first question, which is tell us a little bit about your start.
Damn. Okay. Well, I guess I got into music, or I don't even know, man. Like, to say I got into music, it just like I couldn't really pinpoint it. I've just always been into music since
Yeah.
I was little. Did piano lessons, did drum lessons, did the whole high school band thing. Then became like a teenager, and I was like, I'm gonna do my own thing. I started playing guitar just like every other teenager, and
Yeah.
then focused on that. I was like, started playing in bands with my buddies. Had like a high school band, then like a band in college, and then you know, just kept grinding, kept listening to tons of music, playing tons of music, practicing when I can, making
Okay.
beats, and made my way to the MIA program at Algonquin, and
Right.
then met you, and
And here we are. So, did you have any influences when you were little? Like I know so you said, it's kind of always just been a thing, but was there like a person or maybe like your whole family or anything like that that kind of inspired you when you were little?
yeah, definitely. My grandpa was like a huge influence because he was like crazy pianist, not trained or anything, but like could just play really well by ear. So whenever
Yeah.
we go visit him, he had like a piano room, and so it'd just be super dope. Just sit there, listen to him play, go off. Um, that's kind of what got me into piano. at first, and then like when my sister was in high school, she was really into like like emo rock and stuff like that. And like through her listening to it, I was listening to a lot of it too. So I got really into like drumming and stuff like that.
Right.
So I started playing the drums later on. Um, in high school, I played saxophone just for a little bit because extra credits.
Of course.
um, and then that's when I kind of started playing guitar because my mom got together with my stepdad, and then my stepbrother was like in a band, and he was playing a lot at like they still play the Gravelines, awesome Ottawa, got no band.
Okay.
Um, they play, and yeah, I would go to their shows and stuff. I was also super heavy into like rock and stuff. I had another cousin
Were
who
they a
played with,
rock band?
yeah, like alternative rock, kind of like a
Cool.
three piece.
Cool.
Um, and yeah, so I just had a lot of guitar players around me, and then I was listening to like, you know, the classic rock, all the stuff that everybody's listening to when they're
Yeah.
like first getting into guitar, just like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Black
Yeah.
Sabbath.
Yeah.
Still bump it, but you know. And then yeah, just kind of always surrounded by it, like listening to Guns N' Roses and shit since I was like 7.
Okay, so you're kind of surrounded by obviously your grandfather and your stepfather's. It was your stepbrother that was like
Yeah,
the big rocker, right? So you've kind of just been surrounded by it, like you said, your entire life.
pretty well.
Right. So I relate to that perfectly. I same thing, these guys know, but my dad was a big rocker and my brother was a big rocker and we're pretty similar that way. So, yeah, for those who don't know, Jack and I met in MIA. We met in Algonquin College's Music Industry Arts last year. And the final semester, the summer semester for that program, Jack and I had the same in class studio lab with a great professor, Marcella Rada. I doubt she's here, but if you're here, Marcella, what's up? We miss you.
Shout out
And
Marcella.
yeah, yeah. Jack was one of the first kids I remember that semester to kind of stand out. He had this. He was shaggy, and you could. I'm a skater, and like I could tell that this kid was too, and he could rock. He could rock, guys. And I know he still rocks. He rocks his butt off all the time. So
Appreciate that.
of course, man. So you grew up playing, and then you got into high school. You said you were in the band. You got the extra credits. So what happened after high school?
Um, so when I was in high school, I was like really like looking back on it now, it's like wow, but I was like, you know, trying really hard in school and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
super academic, taking it that route, um, following like my family's academic path. But then, kind of grade 10 was like a turning point. I like that's kind of when I started playing guitar, started going to shows downtown. Um, Still don't really know how I got into those shows, but and then I kind of just saw like I don't know. I didn't really. It just made me realize that that's not what I want to do. I want to do something more like artistic, more creative.
Yeah.
Um, so I kind of switched it up. I ended up applying to the intro to music industry arts program, just like the
Right.
1 year kind of general arts and science one.
Right.
So I did that program at Algonquin. It was awesome.
Okay. So
Uh,
you took that. I didn't know that you took the intro. So
yeah,
what was that like? What was the intro to MIA like?
it was cool, man. As like someone who kind of just spent all their free time already like playing music or listening to music or attempting to really badly record music.
Yeah.
um, it was awesome because it was just like the first time I was actually like motivated in school because what I was learning was something that I was actually interested in.
Absolutely.
Um, it was awesome. Like we had cool classes. It was a little bit, it was similar to the full program in the sense we had like a bunch of different classes that cover all the different aspects of the industry to kind of give you a taste of like the business, the law, the promotion,
Yep.
recording, production, stuff
Yep.
like that.
Right.
But obviously this was like an intro program, so it was much
Yeah,
more,
it was like watered down in a sense.
yeah.
Right.
So like
Right.
you learn a lot less because like it's not only a shorter program, but it's an intro program.
Yeah.
But like you learn enough that you, I personally learned enough that I was like, oh, like this is awesome. I want to learn some more about this. So
Yeah.
then I ended up continuing and just taking the full program.
Right. Yeah. So let's get into that. Let's get into the MIA. Like I said, that's where we met. So let's start on just your like what was your general experience of MIA?
Man, it was awesome. Obviously, like it was weird. Like I said, school didn't really feel like school because I was learning about something that I actually cared
Yeah.
about. So that was a weird experience. But it was awesome. You know, we were kind of in the midst of the pandemic, so it was
Yeah.
online school. It
That's what I
was,
was going to say. It was what was that like for you to was it kind of a throw off a little bit? Was it hard to pick up some stuff? Cuz I know for me like it took me a while to pick up on some stuff that I feel like wouldn't take me that long without it. But what was that like for
yeah.
you?
Um, yeah, no, like definitely online school was a trip. I think it
Yeah,
was for everybody,
big
still
trip.
is in some cases. Um, but I don't know, like I think I had like a somewhat neutral experience with it. When I'm just kind of one of those people that's like, if I'm motivated and like into something, like I will continue and I'll be motivated.
Yeah.
If I'm not though, like no chance kind of thing.
Absolutely. That was
Um,
yeah, I'm the same way with
so like
MIA and I'm the same way in math class, you know?
yeah, so it was like it was a good kind of, it worked out, you know what I mean? And lots of people I think kind of had trouble sitting in their room doing class and stuff like that. But it's like if I wasn't sitting there in those classes, I'd probably just be on YouTube watching production tutorials anyways.
Yeah, watching people make beats and yeah, like either way, if you have a passion for it, it's not going to matter where you're learning, you know. I know myself and I'm sure you we were just kind of happy to be there, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, it's not a big program. So like I wasn't there to mess around. I was there
Yeah.
to like do my stuff and really absorb as much as I can. So I had a good time with it. It was awesome. Like that was a long-winded way to get around to, yeah, it was a great program.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
what like second semester we started actually getting in the studio and stuff, doing
Yeah.
in-person stuff. So
Yeah.
like that was insane. I'd
It
been to a studio like once before the program and it like blew my mind. So actually getting to go like once a week was
Yeah,
awesome.
and touch it and do what you wanted to do. Absolutely. So I have a question for you, Jack. For me, when I came into the program, I kind of had this mindset where like I wanted to just make my own music. I wanted to produce myself, and I didn't, that was kind of it. I just wanted to be an artist that also produced their beats. But as I went through, I kind of found this change where I, instead of just wanting to just make beats for myself and just be my own artist and stay in my little cubby, I came out of it with a lot more of like a broader, more inclusive kind of mindset where I want to make beats for other people and I want to produce like I want to own a studio. I didn't really want to own a studio before, but now I want to own a studio and I want to own a label and I want a whole team around me doing stuff. So did anything like that happen to you?
Yeah, I'd say like for sure. um,
Yeah.
at like one thing that kind of, so just my whole life I've kind of listened to like everything.
Yeah.
Except country, to be honest. Just can't do it.
Okay.
No
Okay.
shame, no, like that's
No,
on me.
hey, we love the country. You know what? People have their own genres. It's totally okay. No judgment. No judgment.
Of course, I know it's my personal issue, but anyways, like I listen to everything, from like classic rock to like folk to like hip hop
Yeah.
to electronic stuff, like everything. And so when I first got into music, I was obviously like trying to learn what I was listening to, and I was kind of all over the place. But the easiest route was just through like instruments, because like guitar, piano, bass, whatever, you can like learn most stuff you listen to. Um, and so I kind of was always a fan of everything, but I found my lane in like indie rock, alt rock, because
Yeah.
it was just like I was the most proficient out of like
Yeah,
all the
that's
options.
just what you feel. I found my lane in hip hop just because I was more proficient on FL rather than with a guitar in my hands. I absolutely.
Yeah, and so I like got into the program, and the other thing too is like I'm like a super kind of like I mentioned, kind of like obsessive. Like when I'm into something, I'm really like into it, and
Yep.
that's kind of what music is for me. So
Yep.
through high school and stuff, like my friends would like entertain my obsession and be like, "Oh yeah, like that's dope," but like I never really knew anyone that was like really into music. And so
Yeah.
when I got into the program, it was like, oh, like there's a ton of people that are actually
Everyone
like
here is the same way. I totally get that. I get
so
that.
it was like it was a trip. It was awesome. And so it was really cool. And then in both the full program and the intro program, one point like they always really, really stressed was just network. Like
Yeah.
this industry is like founded on networking and just like personal relationships and
Yeah,
stuff.
of course it's who you know, right?
And like it's I like in high school and like when I was younger, I was like a much more super like introverted person. So when I heard that, I was like, damn, like I'm not gonna be good at
I
this.
gotta go outside.
Exactly. So I was like, I literally just kind of started forcing myself to like be more extroverted and stuff and talk to people and network. Um, so when I got into the program, like I was just doing my own thing. I was making my demos and stuff because that's what I could do.
Yeah.
But like just meeting more people that were like-minded and like being a fan of everything, I'd hear like stuff that I don't make, but like it sounds awesome and I really want to like find a way to collaborate with those people. So
Yeah.
I think it just kind of opened my mind to the sense that like you can have like your main thing, but nothing's stopping you from just collaborating with everybody, helping and
Of
like
course. Of
just,
course.
you know, being a person in the community. So
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I'd say yeah, it definitely changed my mindset and made me think more about just collaboration rather than like creation.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I like that. I'm definitely the same way, man. Look, you gotta have multiple streams of income, in the industry that we're in, and the only way to do that is to get yourself out there, and like you said, to collaborate. I like that. Jack, I just want to let you know, man, you're doing really good. Like this is more than I could have asked for. So
Awesome, man.
I
It's
appreciate
dope.
that, man. Doing good. Okay, so we've heard your start. You were surrounded around music, and just like everyone else, we've met along the road. You fell in love with it, and
Stuck since.
yeah, and you said, "Screw regular post-secondary education. I'm taking MIA, intro to MIA, and then I'm gonna take the full MIA." We've heard your thoughts on the MIA. So now we're and that like guys, this is very recent that Jack and myself like actually graduated out of MIA. This was back in the summer. It was back in August, and it's only February now. So we've only been out on our own in this industry for 6 months. And Jack, I'm kind of curious as to what is life like now, and what is your day to day? Obviously, you have a job. You have a job at the wonderful Long and McQuaid, right?
Of course,
Right.
yeah.
Do you like that? Is that how is working there?
Oh man, it's like I said, it's just awesome to be in a, it's a job like anything else. It's a retail job,
Yeah,
but like it's I'm surrounded by like-minded people all day,
yeah,
surrounded by music all
yeah.
day.
I bet the
Like,
environment is just off the charts.
yeah, of course, just like any like customer service job, you get some characters, but like it's a fun time. And
Yeah,
it's you know, you meet some really amazing people. You get to kind of like almost network at work
yeah. It's
indirectly.
honestly that's probably
And
one of the best jobs to network.
yeah, yeah, some really cool people come in, like I said, some that like I have no idea who they are, and we end up like, working outside of just meeting them at work, or people that like I know of them in the community, and then I manage to like introduce myself and kind of network with them.
Right.
Uh, and then also just my coworkers, they're all awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Longham McQuaid
Shout
Orleans
out to the
coworkers.
boys. Absolutely. Have you learned anything like in the sense of like uh I guess like your knowledge on equipment has probably just absolutely exploded, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like I've always been somewhat of a gearhead.
Yeah.
Or at least I thought so until I started working along McQuaid. Then I was like,
Yeah.
no, like people who work here are actual gearheads. I don't
Yeah.
know anything. Um, but yeah, you do some training and stuff when you first start. You actually have to like sit down, do some research on your own, and like figure out the different departments and stuff. So
Right.
yeah, I've definitely learned a ton like through that training and just through the day-to-day conversations and like serving people.
Yeah.
Say like a customer comes in and they ask about something that I have no idea about, so that instantly becomes like a case where I'm learning something new.
Yeah, absolutely. That's opportunity to learn. So you're working. What else does your day-to-day kind of look like?
Yeah, so like I work 5 days a week, on the 40-hour full-time grind.
Same here.
And oh
We're
yeah,
on that. We're on that grind.
and so that's kind of my day to day. I have Mondays and Thursdays off, so those are kind of when I have to do all my different adulting chores and try
Yeah.
and fit in music where I can.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I want to pick your brain a little bit is like where how are you finding like your how much you can actually do music? Like when do you find is the most time when is the most the I don't know what I'm trying to say here. When do you find the time of the day is that you can just sit down and, play guitar or make a beat?
Yeah, um,
Or does it
it's
fluctuate in
cool.
a little bit of a sense?
It totally fluctuates, just like one thing, like I since school I've tried to get on like a regimented creative schedule, if you want to call it that, but
Yeah.
like just like anything, like your mood can just completely mess it up. So
Yeah.
um I try and so like right now I finish at 5 p.m. on Sundays. So like my weekend is like Sunday night and Monday. And so
Right.
that's kind of when I just like go hard on my personal music.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you usually get some stuff done or cuz like I'll be straight up, man. I I slack a little bit sometimes. There's definitely like a week or like 2 weeks sometimes will go by and like I've barely done anything. Do you kind of have something that keeps you motivated and just ready to go?
yeah, yeah, like you could call it unfortunate circumstances kind of put me in like a good space.
Right.
So as you know, like my apartment where I'm currently at is in, or actually I'm not gonna say where I live, but you know what I mean.
We
You
live
know
in
where I live.
Ottawa. Yeah.
um, and so I recently had some issues where the ceiling was leaking.
I remember
So
that.
my
I do
bedroom
remember.
studio basically got
Yeah,
so
I
it was a
remember.
bad circumstance. I had like nowhere to create music, and also kind of that's almost indirectly what made me focus more on making hip hop too was because basically, I'm from Ottawa, so my parents still live here. So I had to go home and stay there.
Yeah.
And I was like staying at friends' houses, staying at there, just like, I was basically just like wherever I was that night.
Wherever,
I was like,
yeah.
like, hey, can I stay there? Or,
Yeah. And
'cause it took,
obviously you can't bring your 3 guitars and your amp with
yeah.
you, right?
So like I went from like having like, a DIY like bedroom studio to like the only things I really had with me all the time were my MacBook and my headphones.
Yeah.
So I kind of started like focusing on making hip hop because I could just open up SL and make whatever I want.
Yep.
And so yeah, I was doing that for a long time. And then I recently started like my new job at Long and McQuaid. And since then I was like getting back into like I wasn't like out of music, but like you might have gone through this too. When I got out of like MIA, there was a little bit of like a dip in the motivation just because it
Oh,
was like,
for sure. We just went through, I went through a year, but you went through almost 2 years of it,
yeah,
and your mental and your just everything about you just needs a break from everything, right? I'm with you there.
yeah, like I didn't want to, like I was already surrounded, like I love music obviously, but like you're surrounded by it constantly in your free time and school time for like
Yeah.
2 years, you're gonna get
Yeah.
saturated. Um, so I was taking a break for a bit and like just working and stuff, and then my apartment happened, and then I ended up like just kind of all over the place, and I would make a beat here or there, and then I started working along McQuaid, and I was like, hey, like I need to get back, like being around the music constantly was like, oh, like
Yeah,
I
like
miss this so much.
it reminded you like, oh, like this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, like it definitely reignited that motivation and like that fire inside. So I took all my gear, like brought it to my parents' place in Chelsea. And they have like an outbuilding. So they let me set up like a little like desk studio kind of just there.
Sick.
And so yeah, long story short, that's where I make my music. And I only have kind of that day and a half period
Yeah.
to actually be with my equipment and like be in the studio, if you want
Yeah.
to call it that.
Yeah.
Um, so I think just kind of having like a timer, like not being able to just make it whenever I want makes me kind of like motivated to use that time when I'm there.
Yeah, absolutely. For to the best of its, potential, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I definitely get what you're saying. Well, that's sick. That's sick. I'm glad you're liking work, man. Work,
Yeah.
when you're doing it every day, all day, do you work like 8 hours, 8 hours, or like usually 8 hours? You said full time,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Most of my shifts are 8 hours. I have like a shorter shift on Sundays, but still
Right.
full time.
Yeah. So when it's something that you're doing all day, like it's got to be something that, you're somewhat interested in. So I'm glad you found a good job like that. I thought about it as well to go to Long McQuaid, but it was too far from where I'm living right now. But
That's
clearly
fair.
I was wrong because you're kind of showing me up on that, aren't you?
Just, just a little bit, but
Just a little
uh
bit.
yeah, man, it's fun. Like I work and then I do my music thing kind of on like Sunday and Monday. And
And you
then
find time for yourself too, though?
oh yeah, of course.
All
I
right,
like
good.
that's more of like my creative time, if that makes any sense. Like just like playing guitar at home, I do that after work and
Right.
stuff.
Okay. And
Just
and and you consider that like, time for yourself.
yeah, yeah, like learning guitars, like learning stuff like that. That's I like it's not like the same. I'm not using the same part of my brain in a sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like trying to create something. I'm just like learning
Yeah.
songs, playing guitar,
Yeah.
unwinding.
Yeah, it's music in a just like a more free, open, do whatever you want to do kind of sense, right?
Yeah, I'm not like sitting down and being like, okay, I need to make something.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, so Neighborhood Noise. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, man. So Neighborhood Noise is you could call it like partially the culmination of my time in MIA.
Okay.
Um, so that is something I started with some childhood friends. So in
You said it
in
started with a band, right? The actual name of Neighborhood Noise came from your band, right?
yeah, so as you know, when I was in MIA, I was in a band just with some guys that I met in high school. Shout out Jacob and Jacob.
Shout out.
Uh, and so, we were a band for like 3 years, played all the time, wrote some originals and stuff like that. Never got anything recorded, never played any shows, just kind of like grinded in the basement.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to debut at the end of MIA, and that was going to be the name of like our band and probably like our EP or
I,
whatever.
I remember. I remember that.
Yeah, like my final project was one of our demos.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I remember you were trying to get that kick to hit or something, right?
yeah, man,
Yeah.
those freaking rock kicks never hitting properly.
No.
Um, but yeah, so unfortunately that didn't work out. Well, things go how they go.
Yeah,
People
life. Yeah, life changes. Life happens.
and
Nothing you can do, right?
it's the way she goes.
Yeah.
And I just honestly I just really liked the name.
Right.
Um, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep this in my back pocket. And then, after school, that was kind of my plan was the band. So I felt like a little bit lost for a bit, which is
Right.
maybe why I was in that kind of like dip.
Dip.
But
Yeah.
um, but that's I realized that like, oh, like I can just do like focus on other stuff, focus on my own music, find a different way to go about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember oh industry preparation, I think was the class. Uh,
Okay.
it was a project for Brian, the one where we
Yeah.
had to make like a
Yeah.
huge
That.
plan.
Yeah. That was third semester, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I had this plan, like it was kind of just an idea that I came up with to do the project. Never really had any like concrete intentions of acting on it.
Right.
But it was just to create this like local independent music blog that promoted local artists and kind of helped foster the community, try and build up the community, make more people network, and then just get people more involved with like the
Right.
Ottawa music scene.
Trying to build the
Um,
community. I love
yeah,
that, Jack. I love it. I love what you're trying to do with that. I think it's really cool.
thank you, man. And like, you know, as you could probably say, like the same the whole time I was in MIA, I would just meet more and more people. It'd be like, wow, like you're awesome. Like the
Yeah.
stuff you're doing, I love it. Like I want to support it.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just realized, and then also, unfortunately, so Ottawa is like a weird place for creatives in general.
Yeah.
Um, Lots of the teachers kind of, I don't want to say like discouraged us, but like really made a point that Ottawa is not necessarily the place for this. Maybe more
Yeah.
like Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver,
Yeah.
which was really weird to me because I would meet more and more people like you, like James, like everybody in the studio crew, Ben, yeah, like those
Yeah.
guys,
All the boys.
and Mike too, and like everybody. I was just like, this sucks. Like
It
my
seems like,
classmates.
it seems like this city's popping off right now. Like,
It,
Colin, what are you saying? I've got 80 people in front of me that are all music nerds. So I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying is that you're being told that there's no community, but like you're looking at a community right now. That's what you're
yeah,
trying to yeah.
absolutely, and like I said too, like I grew up seeing like shows with my stepbrother. Like he'd like bring me to shows his friends are playing and stuff, so I'd see like that whole community too. So like I always knew it was there, and so I really just kind of was like in denial of what they were telling me, and I was like, no, like I'm gonna do something that's gonna make the Ottawa community kind of get up
Yeah,
and have
put a
more
spotlight on it,
support.
'cause it's here, 100%. Look at you and I,
Yeah,
man. It's here,
but
absolutely.
yeah, so I had the plan because of the class. Like I had written like a whole project on it So it was like, oh, I can just use this blueprint to do the whole thing. Um, and so my buddy, Ethan Grove, shout out Ethan, he he's taking journalism at Algonquin. He's in his last year right now.
Shout out.
And yeah, he's like my homie from like we were like he played drums way back. So like he was one of the first people I played with.
Cool.
And so I hit him up because I knew he was into music and into writing. And so I was like, hey man, like I have this idea. And then I pitched him the whole thing. He was like, yeah, like I'm definitely down. And then we kind of got the ball rolling on that. And then my roommate at the time, Jazz, shout out Jazz,
Shout out.
Jazz Audi. He's a graphic designer. He's like an artist, visual artist, does like all kinds of super dope digital art and like actual drawings and stuff.
Sick.
And so we were like, well, if we're gonna do this thing, we definitely need a logo. So Jazz was like, well, I'll give you guys a logo. Like that's easy. So he designed our super dope logo, and
Yeah.
then
I'll put it
stuck
up. It's up. It's up. It's up right here. Put it up.
nice. But yeah, so he killed that, and then he was like super interested in the thing too. So he joined in. We kind of kept doing our thing. We started just reaching out to people, promoting people's stuff, following people on Instagram. We did the whole Instagram page, got that up and running.
Yeah.
And then we started talking to a band, Neon Ghost House.
I saw
they're a
that. I
local
saw
band.
that article.
Yeah, so they were super cool. Some high school homies of Ethan's that we knew they were doing some cool stuff, and we were like, this will be perfect. Like we want to kind of test the waters with our first article, so kind of already knowing them, it'll be perfect.
Yeah.
So we did that, and it was awesome. Like the way they responded, they loved it, and like they were super appreciative, and we were like, okay, like maybe this is something we can do. And it kind of, I was personally shocked. I was like, wow, I did not expect people to really accept this as much as they did.
You didn't expect to get the love that you got.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, people love free promotion. People love all that type of stuff, but it's also
Absolutely.
just the music scene is awesome. The people here are amazing,
Yeah.
and like everybody's just trying to help each other and help the overall scene. So we kept doing our thing, and then Erica Rowley, she's like our editor. She helps us out with like articles and stuff. She reached out to us after the Neon article came out, and she was like, I love what you guys are doing. I love the writing and stuff. Like I'd love to help out in some way. And she's a great writer, so she helps with editing and stuff like that. And yeah, we're just kind of rolling since.
Dude, you have a whole team going. That's crazy. I thought it was just you doing your thing, man. But that's sick,
No,
bro.
man,
That's super sick.
I like to think that I can do a lot of things, but there's no way I can take credit for all this stuff.
Yeah, man.
It's,
You
it's,
need
it's a
a
team
you,
effort.
absolutely. You need a team on your back, right? Well, that's sick. And how many articles do you have out now? 5 or?
So the first one we did was the interview kind of profile with Neon Ghost House, and then
Right.
we did another one with it was an EP review and just kind of like a artist profile of a local rapper and producer, Death Wish. He's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And
That
we
was
did that one.
his debut EP, right?
Yeah, he had done some stuff with some other artists like Das Hype and Ducio, but
Right.
that was like his first like him rapping on the EP. And then from there we kind of did a show review. There was one weekend we had like a bunch of shows we were going to, so we're like, hey, we're going to like 2 shows in 2 days. Let's just do like this weekend in Ottawa type of thing.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was the first show was a Sinful Ways EP release show at the Brass Monkey. It's like a heavy metal show with a bunch of dope local bands.
Sick.
And then the next show is the next night at Cafe de Cuff, and it was Neon Ghost House, which was awesome.
Right.
Super dope to see those guys play.
Yeah.
And then we who else was there? Oh, Superfluous was there, and Sunday Riot Club, which was awesome. Got
Sick.
to meet all those dudes, make some more connections. It was great.
That's sick.
And then from there, after the new year, we did like we talked to a bunch of artists, and we were like, hey, like it's the new year. We know, we know what kind of people are in the music industry, the kind of people that are going to be like, all right, it's the new year, I'm going to be on my grind.
Yeah.
So we knew some stuff was in the works, so we hit up a bunch of people who are like, hey, like if you have anything you'd like to talk about, we'd love to talk to you. And so we talked to Nisotope, a local like EDM producer. We talked to Teenage Fiction. They're like a local shoegaze kind of alt rock band.
Cool.
No Hits, kind of like a indie rock band. They're awesome. There was also Das Hype. We spoke to him. He's a rapper, and of course, James Hobson, of course.
You talked to James?
Yeah,
That's
man.
sick. For anyone who doesn't know, James was also in our studio class. That's that third semester, and there we all got super tight. Shout out to all those boys, man. Um, so to wrap it up about the Neighborhood Noise, where what are your plans for it? Just kind of just to keep doing what you're doing, because obviously you're on a really good track. I think a lot of people have been seeing what the blog is doing, and I think it's doing great for the community. Is there a next step, or are you just gonna keep it going how it is?
Um, yeah, we definitely have tons of stuff in the works. We're constantly blowing up each other's phone in the group chat. I feel bad for it sometimes. But yeah, we've got tons of stuff in the works. We've got all of our socials that have been going steady. We have our website, which you can check out, neighborhoodnoise.ca. We're always trying to start posting articles like every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We've got New Music Friday every Friday on our Instagram, just
Okay.
promoting all the local stuff that comes out. And we're thinking about starting to do some video interviews hopefully soon once things with COVID kind of calm down. Get some of that going.
That would be dope.
Start up our YouTube channel, and then keep doing our thing. Keep
Yeah. Keep
covering the awesome stuff that's going on
Yeah.
in Ottawa. Keep promoting the local people that are killing it.
Yeah. Right on. So you've got some beat tapes coming out, and I'm just curious, where can we find them, and what can we expect from Jack O'Sullivan?
Yeah, man. Since school, I've just been messing around with some lo-fi hip hop beats, some kind of boom bap, old school stuff I like to listen to.
Yeah.
Um, I made a beat tape back in October called "The Wizard of Osgood," which you can find on SoundCloud. And
Okay.
just
I'll have the link in
recently,
the bio.
thank you. I have another one that I actually just dropped almost a week now, but just like 5 days ago or something like that. Called Nomadic, and it's the same kind of vibe, like old school lo-fi hip hop,
Yeah.
but this one's just piano beats, kind of the theme of it.
Okay.
Um,
Very cool.
yeah, that's what I'm up to in terms of beat making. Kind of just focusing on like placements and trying to get some collabs going now.
Yeah.
Um, still doing the blog thing, and I recently started playing with Neon Ghost House, the band I mentioned before.
Oh yeah. So do
Um,
you think you're gonna get maybe like start playing some live shows with them?
yeah, so they recently let me join as a rhythm guitar player,
Dude,
and
sick.
yeah,
Right
and then
on.
they got some shows booked. The most recent one, or like the one coming up soon is May 26th.
Okay.
Wait, don't quote me on that.
Okay.
It's it is May 27th. Sorry.
Okay. May 27th. All right.
Yeah.
Where is that?
So there's like a little 2-day festival going on downtown Ottawa called Punk Fest, being put on
Okay.
by some local bands, and
Sick.
there's just a bunch of bands playing, some really cool people from Ottawa, and it's like a 2-day event at Cafe de Cuff, the venue just above Mavericks on Rideau.
Okay.
So you can catch us playing there, Neon Ghost House, on the 27th,
Yeah.
and
Dude,
well,
I'll try to be there. I definitely want to cover that for sure.
awesome. Yeah, man, that'd be
Yeah.
great.
All right. So you've got the beat tapes. That's That's what you want to promote. Wait,
Yes,
let me.
sir.
I'm gonna restart that. I felt kind of like that was weird. That was weird. I'm gonna cut that out completely. How am I gonna wrap that up? Okay, so the beat tapes, you've covered that. Like I said, so here's what I'll do, Jack. I'll put a link to your SoundCloud just profile, and you guys can go check out the beat tapes. I've heard a lot of the beats. I don't know if they're from the beat tapes, but Jack has sent me a lot of beats, and they are all fire. So, Jack, anything else you're trying to promote?
No, man, that's it. I want to promote you, man. Thank
Oh,
you so much for having me. This is
hey,
when you hit me up, I was like, wow, like never been asked to do this type of thing. So I really appreciate it.
dude.
Love
Well,
what you're doing.
thank you, man. I thank you, man. I appreciate that. And dude, thank you for coming on, man. It's when I asked you, yeah, this is the first time for both of us, man. And I was really happy that like you you said yes because I like it had to be you, man. Like this is perfect, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
But
man, this has
look,
been awesome.
we'll we'll wrap it up with a couple more questions. I know you got some stuff you got to do. So, I want to ask you, where do you see where would you like to be in 10 years? Or 5, I don't know, in the future, man. Well, let's just say in the future, Well, let's just, it doesn't have to be too specific.
Yeah. Honestly, like I don't really have like I don't really have a plan from here, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I somewhat managed to get where I was trying to go, or at least as far as I had planned. So I kind of just hope to continue doing what I'm doing, but on a bigger scale, you know.
Yeah.
Keep doing the music thing, keep collabing with people, just making music, you know,
Yeah.
playing with Neon Ghost Host. Hopefully, get some awesome things going on there. Just keep doing the blog thing, taking photos, writing
Yeah.
articles, and
just
you know,
just grind until you know there's there's a community and you're worldwide. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
man. The
All right.
goal is to make the Neighborhood Noise brand more than just a blog and go
Okay.
from there.
So that you're really focusing on the neighborhood noise, eh?
Yeah, that's kind of my like main focus for now
Right.
is just doing that whole thing. You know, we're doing the blog thing, but we got plans for plenty of different stuff that I can't talk about just because it's not even really planned. But you know,
Okay.
we're dreamers. We got big things that
Of
we want to do.
course. Of course. So would you say that like the main thing right now, just how you feel right now, the main thing that you want to forever expand and grow is your neighborhood noise?
Yeah, yeah, probably. It's definitely my main focus right now.
Right.
Definitely the biggest grind.
Yeah. Okay. And then, all right, we'll wrap it up with kind of what. Here, let me restart that. Let me restart that. Let me collect my thoughts. All right. So obviously, okay. Fuck. So Jack, I just want to tell you, man, that I have full belief in you that you're gonna be able to grow this brand. I think what you're trying to do with it, man, is something that's not really seen in the city right now. And I think that there's a need for it, and there's consumers out there exactly for what you're doing, man. So I I'm just curious, man, and after this we'll kind of wrap it up. But any moves, any plans in the future as to what you how you plan on growing the brand
Yeah,
without
like I said,
spoiling anything, of course.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's nothing really to spoil. It's just a bunch of far-fetched ideas. But
Yeah.
you know, like I said, we're just trying to really kind of build up the community and get people involved, whether or not you're a musician or not, like just looking to get everyone involved, kind of musicians, photographers, videographers,
Yeah.
editors, producers, everyone that can kind of help people with something, like everybody's always looking for someone that can do something
Right.
and fill some type of gap that they can't, so
Absolutely.
I'm trying to just make sure that the network grows and people help each other out and just make the whole community pop off.
Right.
And then eventually kind of, you know, we like we're doing the video interviews, we're doing that type of stuff, and then we'll see how it goes in other
Yeah.
type of maybe productions.
Yeah, no, I feel like we're very similar with what I'm trying to do with Dream Show and with you with Neighborhood Noise, where we've kind of it's still fresh. Obviously, like I'm super fresh, but I feel like we're both kind of in this path and mindset of just keep putting stuff out. Just keep keep the grind going, keep putting stuff out, and doing what you love, and that's history will tell you that that's stuff comes out of that. So Jack, for anyone who's kind of in the position um, that you're in with the Neighborhood Noise, where they're trying to start something, do you have any tips for that person who's literally just has the idea?
um, don't let it just be an idea. That's my tip, I guess, because like I said, I didn't really have any plans of this. It was just an idea. It was just a hypothetical thing I did for a project,
Yeah.
and ended up being my main gig for right now and hopefully for the future.
Yeah.
So I would say just you know, don't get discouraged.
Yeah.
Don't slow down. Just keep doing it.
Right. Turn dreams into reality, and once it's real, make sure it stays real. Don't let it fade away. I
Absolutely.
love that. Thank you for that, Jack. Because I'm one of those people. So thank you, man. Thank you.
We're all one of those people. You just gotta, you gotta act.
Absolutely. Act. Yeah. You gotta actually do rather than just talk and think about it, right? Well, yo, we'll wrap it up. Any last words, man?
No, man. I've said my piece. I just all I have is gratitude for having me.
Dude, dude, absolutely, man. Dude, thanks for coming on. This is, like I said, first time for everything. Like, I don't know. I've never interviewed someone before, but I had a lot of fun doing this, man. And I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. So this has been my interview with Jack Sullivan. I'll have all of his links in the description. Please check him out. If you liked what you saw here, check my stuff out as well. Check everybody out. Both of us, we're trying to do something. We're trying to just, make our dreams come true and just work our butts off as much as we can. And we appreciate all the love. So thank you very, very much. And Jack, if you want to say peace out, we'll say peace out, and I'll let you get going with your day, man.
Yeah, man. It was a great time. Thanks for having me, and I hope to see you soon.
Of course, man. All right. All right. All right, everybody. Take it easy.